Good morning. How are you today? It is a glorious day today. The storms last evening washed away the, the kind of steam bath feeling that we had. And today we're out in nature and the uh, cicadas are humming closer to where I start my walk. So it's kind of nice. I think I told you that I had a horse when on this path we came upon like a circle of these cicadas humming, and they would just hum and then they'd recede and they'd hum and they'd recede, and it was like this whole pathway was an organ for their sound. And the horse was terrified because think about it, in 17 years, what are the chances of a horse hearing it once? Horses live, very unusual into their 20s. I had to encourage this horse to move forward. But these are harmless insects. I don't know what they taste like, and I'm not going to find out. Meanwhile, out in Texas, they want to kill the male lesser prairie chicken so that they can have oil. We'll never pay any attention to the interlocking nature of our existence with animals small and large, including insects. We just doesn't matter. Over in Turkey, they have allowed industry all along the sea there to just dump stuff into the ocean, and they have stuff that they've just now in the water so they can't fish, and they say it looks like sea snot. And then we've got Biden, in my opinion, taking a sucker punch. The WHO had cleared, if you will, China of being the cause of COVID-19. And now we're starting again to legitimize this entire debate that Trump had to great advantage among his wacko followers, his ditto heads. And now we're joining the band and we're going to investigate it. And you just tell me, how do we force China to admit that they did this? Are we going to get in their laboratories and look at this stuff, assuming there is a scintilla, one of those legal words, of evidence that they did anything at all? So, we can investigate this nonsense, but not what happened on January the 6th and what Trump was doing that day. America's got to get its priorities straight. And we have hand-wringing on the Hill about, how can we bring the Republicans along? Think about it. Who was on the wrong side of that investigation? The Republicans. There is not a way in the world they want this investigation to go forward. And the Democrats apparently don't believe well enough in their entire caucus in the Senate to go forward by stripping away the 60-vote rule and doing it themselves. Sorry, I'm repeating myself, but apparently it bears repetition because nobody's acting upon it. Oh, quiet here. I'm walking into a chamber of cicadas. They're moving through the area now. They're getting up in the trees. It'll get louder every day. And some may not think it's cool, but I think it's pretty cool. They're harmless. They can be a pest when they sort of show up everywhere until they go away for their cycle. We can't expect the Republicans to investigate their own misconduct. That's never going to happen. So the Republicans are also out there, again, about giving money to people to sustain their lives in the aftermath of the pandemic while we're still waiting to see and hoping it will work. That is, that the vaccines will make a difference in continuing some of the safety precautions. And I don't know about you, but I'm very anxious that everybody's opening the doors again, like children running out. School's out, go do whatever you want. Except what we're doing is saying school's in, go in. Work's open, go to work. And of course the Republicans want them to work, and they say they're not going to work because we're giving them so much money. Really? None of these Republicans would live on the money that we're contributing to people who are, barely sustaining their lives because they don't want to get sick and they don't want to die and they want to protect their children. And there are these reckless people out there that don't believe in vaccinations or distancing or anything else. So that's kind of a roundup of what I think matters. The other thing that really annoys me is our policies about abortion. And I mean, I believe a woman has a right of choice. I don't think there's any question about it. And some women define this correctly, which is to say, my allegiance goes with the host, if you will, the woman, the person who suffers or not having an unwanted child or a wanted child, risking her health. When I was a young guy, I remember reading on the buses going back and forth to Fordham Prep, a Jesuit school, a book called The Cardinal. And in that book, the cardinal's sister was going to die if forced to have the child. And he advises her to have the child, and she dies. Is there any place on this planet where that makes sense? And I don't know if that was the basis for me coming of age and how the church was relentlessly painful to women, that it would treat them this way. And I haven't changed. I've gotten more detail since then. So push back in every way possible against the court and anybody who says a woman doesn't have a right to control her own body. Your mother, sister, friend, girlfriend, they're all in this quarantine of guilt because society says they shouldn't have dominion over their own body. Anyhow, that's enough for today. Kind of on my pedestal today, among my cathedral of trees. This is real. These people bullshitting us, we got to cut them off. Bye-bye.